Okay, so we're not reviewing everything. We're just reviewing the halacha that we were focusing on yesterday, and today we'll get answers. Okay, whether we like them or not, we'll see. Okay, so this is in on page 167. Halacha yod beis. Mishni duhu b'chalom. Someone who was put into nidui in a dream, and as Chaim pointed out, the question is like, does it mean that I have a dream and in my dream someone puts me in nidui, or does it mean that you have a dream and in your dream someone puts me in nidui? Or does it make a difference? Yeah, I'm assuming it's in my own dream. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to assume that it'd be weird. I feel like it's already too removed, like already, and to say you have to worry about other people's dreams, like it's just like a. Correct. Yeah.
Not into someone else.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good question. Also, yeah.
Also, like dreams are like not always so obvious. Like what was happening in them. Like was that like some like was he being ostracized or were people just like angry at him and pushing him away?
Well,
like,
I think
how do you know?
So I think because nidui, putting someone in nidui is there's a way to do it. Is you use a specific lashon. You say so and so is.
You have to hear that in the dream.
You have to hear that in the dream. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah, so it's like it would be an unambiguous thing. Even if like I don't know, like Kirby and Mario pop out of his mouth and like make scrambled eggs or something like as long as they say the word. I'm just trying to think of something in a dream, but even if they say they'd have to say like a thing that is.
If they come out saying that.
Yeah. Oh, so that's it. What if a fictional character puts you in nidui in a dream? Yeah.
I feel like it would make more sense for this to be talking about somebody that put themselves in their own dream, put themselves in nidui. If it was
in the dream they put themselves
in the dream
that they put themselves in the dream in the dream they put themselves on the
a dream. What are the two ways? I thought we just said two ways.
Either in my own dream someone puts me in nidui
So I think that would make more sense just because if it was somebody else's dream, they put you in nidui, that would just mean that they have like some kind of like feeling against you. But if it was you, right, that would make sense that you are making a dream about yourself because you feel like you did something wrong or something.
Yeah. So our question that we said yesterday, which that was your answer to a question, which was like, why do we even care about this? Right. Okay. So we're going to see a couple of other reasons that we might care about it other than that. Yeah.
I was going to say, there are 4 possible ways for this to happen.
Okay. Do we need a Punnett square?
Yeah, exactly. It's either my dream or somebody else's dream.
Yeah.
And then either I do it for myself or somebody does it to me.
Yeah.
In the dream.
Right. So and then I think we're going to add something that will help eliminate a possibility.
Just the only reason that to me this seems like there is some possibility that it could be someone else's dream. Because since they do have the authority to put you into nidui themselves, it could be that all right now, am I supposed to put this person?
That's true.
Right. So here's why I'm not sure about that because it sounds from the way he formulates the halacha, it sounds like the nidui already goes into effect from the dream itself, and if it's someone else's dream, they would need to inform you about it, and like then that's like.
So fine. So then, if anything, the other way around, then that should disprove that it's someone else's dream. Because it wouldn't make sense that you have to go get 10 if it hasn't yet been established that you're a nidui.
Exactly right. Okay. So but now let's throw a wrench into the thing. Okay. So here's the actual lashon. Okay. Mishni duhu b'chalom, someone who was put into nidui in a dream. Afilu yada mi nidahu, even if he knew who put him in nidui. Sorry, b'nei adam sheshonim halachos latir mi nidui. Then he needs 10 people.
The question is like,
what is that adding to it? Even if he knew. So what's the alternative? You hear a voice in the dream and you don't see who in the dream is putting you in nidui. And I'm saying, and why afilu yada mi nidahu? Yeah.
Because the havamina is that normally in order to reverse a nidui, it needs to be the same person.
Correct. Okay. Right.
If somebody does it to me in a dream.
Oh, right. Do I need to go to that person? Okay. Right. Okay. That makes sense. Right. So let me state that again. Right. So in other words, we established yesterday that the person who puts you in nidui or the 3 who put you in nidui, you need to go to them to release you. So if I get put in nidui in a dream, he's going to tell us that I need to get released. But even if I dream that Oren puts me in nidui, I still need 10 people. I don't go to Oren to release me. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay. right, so let's go with the assumption that it's in your own dream. I think that for multiple reasons that makes sense. Okay, so you need 10 people to release you. Now that was our first question. Ordinarily, you just need 3 to release you. So why 10 here? All the other nidus you just need 3, or you need like someone who's an expert chacham or the nasi, but you never need 10. So what's the 10 doing here? Okay, then he says you need asara b'nei adam sheshonin halachos lahatiro mididuyo. You need 10 people who learn halacha to release you from your nidui. So why is there a requirement? By regular nidui, we see that the only requirement is that they be people who understand what the concept of nidui is. You don't need any level of chachma. It could be 3 like ordinary, like you could grab 3 people off the street. Okay. So why this level? Okay. Then the imlo matzah, if he did not find 10 people who learn halachos, toreach achrein at parsa, he should toil after them into up into a parsa. I always forgot how long a parsa is. Just look it up.
Is that 1,000 almonds?
Is it? I don't know. I was
Like keep beseeching of them to do it.
no, like toil to try to find them. Yeah.
Oh,
Like-
go somewhere else.
Yeah.
1.5 miles.
Let's see. So according to this, it says that I'm going to use the non-chaz on each one just because 2.4 miles is a parsa. So 2.4. Oh, I just said that 2.4 is a parsa, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't need to calculate it. Yeah. So 2.4 miles. Okay, that's not so far, right?
I guess in a radius. If it's
Even that's not so far,
Also,
right?
if you don't have
2.4
cars,
miles.
2.4 miles.
Be
how long does that take to
4
walk
mile
that?
radius is quite a
No,
lot.
I was going to put up my wait, hold on a second. All right, let me pause the recording so that my address, so I don't die,
Because
right?
that makes
And
a
that's
difference.
like get them
To get them, to get the 10 guys who learn
Yes,
halacha. Yeah.
So what does it sound like about the neighborhood?
The neighborhood, yeah. And by the way, like,
Huh.
I don't know, like in the Rambam's time, how much he's assuming like people learn halacha, but like nowadays, I feel like it's not hard to find 10 people who learn halacha, right?
Well, it's not like it's
Well, I don't know what learn
not
halacha
anymore.
means exactly. Yeah.
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 So yeah, because also we have to keep in mind this was before the Mishnah Torah was written. So learning halacha would mean, no, I guess this is a high level, because learning halacha would mean that you have to like learn through the Talmud itself and the Gaonim and to get the halacha from that. There's or the Rif. I mean, I assume if he's quoting from the Gemara, that means like you can derive halacha from what you're learning. So that is pretty high. Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
No?
Probably both, yeah.
Right.
Okay, lo mata. If you don't find these 10 people, matir lo asar sheshon in Mishnah, then you can 10 people who learn Mishnah can release you from halacha. Okay, now Mishnah, I'm going to go ahead and guess that this means, I mean, certainly means regular Mishnayos, but I think based on this framework, it would mean learning like Torah Shabbal Peh that you cannot, like get down to the practical halacha from. Okay. Lo matzah, if you don't find them, matirin lo mish yodin likros b'Torah, then you could find 10 people who just know how to read Torah. And we said that doesn't mean lane. We think it means just like reading Torah. Lo matzah, matirin lo fil asar she'enan yodin likros. And if you can't find that, then even 10 people who don't know how to read. Lo matzah b'makom asara, if you did not find 10 of, I guess, any of these people in his place, matirin lo afilu shlosha, then you could find 3 like ordinary randos.
do we see this like hierarchy anywhere else?
No.
Only
Yeah.
in Nidui, wow.
That's the only case I'm familiar with is in nidui. Yeah. Maybe somewhere else we do see it, but we didn't see it. Let's put it this way: in Talmud Torah,
Yeah.
this is at the end of Hilchos Talmud Torah. We haven't seen this in Talmud Torah,
Right.
so yeah. So that's the other question. So the question is, why 10? Why this hierarchy? Why do you have to like strive to find these people? Why do we care about what happens in a dream? Oh, and that was what we read yesterday. Also, that there's a Gemara that the Rambam brings down in Sanhedrin, Divrei Chalomos. Lo ma'alin v'lo moridin, which
Right.
means that dream content doesn't matter in terms of like having a halachic effect. And that was the case where if you hear in a dream that your father left you an inheritance and it's buried in such and such a place with such and such a quantity, and it's Meiser Sheni, okay, which means that you have to like, spend it in Yerushalayim. So if you go to that place, you wake up, you go to that place, you find it, and it's the exact amount, you don't have to treat it as though it's Meiser Sheni. Like you just say, oh, that's whatever. It's nonsense, So it seems like we don't take into account dream contents except for here. And the question is why? Yeah.
And this is even if there's something that happens to you regularly.
Seemingly. Yeah. I've never seen anyone mention anything about frequency.
Oh, I thought we said something where it was like if a person had a good reputation, they generally that their stuff tends to be true. I thought we said that yesterday. That like.
Oh, that was in your neighborhood versus someone else's.
Yeah. That was a different topic. That was which nidui do you have to respect?
I mean, if you were.
That isn't unrelated at all to what I'm saying.
What were you saying?
I'm saying if someone gives you like some like I had a dream or a vision or something, and they like some sort of soothsayer, I don't know what, and they say also it was my story. I remember this. And then like we're like, oh, even if that person has like a good reputation or like whatever, it's like their stuff is reliable. Even then.
Yeah. Right.
So I thought maybe.
Joseph, did you want to say something? No. Yeah.
To comment on the question of why only by nidui with dreams.
Yeah.
So the question is why?
Yeah, if in the general principle in halacha is we don't care halachically about what happens in dreams. And then I'm just going to reread the Arוך Shulchan, who said that even with, so Arוך Shulchan leads with that point. He says we don't say, he says we don't care about what happens in dreams. And then he ends off by saying that I also, he says, this still bothers me. Dreams cannot matter halachically. Ella should be nidui chashashu, but by nidui they were worried about it. And then he says, they only worried about this to necessitate you getting released from nidui, but they don't care at all about people keeping the nidui. Aaron, right? They don't care about people keeping the nidui. Okay. In other words, like if this happens to me in a dream, I need to go get 10 people to release me, but I don't have to like be in nidui actually, and you don't have to like treat me as though I'm in nidui. So in other words, even though we care about the dream here, we only care about it to make me go and seek out this whole release of nidui.
Reading it like that?
What was it?
Is that gonna be our last?
Yeah, we're gonna assume that. Yeah.
I mean, you said mention yesterday that like if I'm interested in enjoying like all men are hold on, and like it's not like it doesn't come to any big deal.
Yeah, I mean, just to quote that exactly, is that the Aruch Shulchan said yesterday that the da nidui enu mamish doraisa. It's not actually doraisa. V'gam lo kila mikidrabanan, and it's not lenient like derbanan. V'hu midivre Kabbalah, it's by tradition or by oral Torah tradition. Ukid divrei Torah dami, and it's like a doraisa. Yeah.
So maybe that like doesn't like kind of like its own weird institution that like it's not like this something that naturally is at all.
Right. Okay.
You don't care about dreams, you don't care about like things that we like turn and perhaps like make it more fun.
Okay, so let me restate that, and then we'll go Yosef and then Oren. So Chaim is suggesting that since nidui is this weird amorphous category of like a tool that has somehow halachic backing, but it's not actually a mitzvah d'oraisa, and the Chachamim seem to have been, it's left up to them about how to implement it. So they can use it however they want, and they could kind of like customize it however they want. And so you are acknowledging that dream stuff doesn't actually matter, right? Like it's not like if, in other words, let's say like the first person who ever had this dream, let's say in Moshe Rabbeinu's time, someone had this dream, there would be no halachos that come into effect from that. It's up to the Chachamim to say this. So the Chachamim have the right to formulate this weird case of being, getting nidui in a dream and say, okay, you have to act a certain way, because they were given that right, and there's no like intrinsic thing, and this doesn't violate the principle about how halachic how dreams don't have halachic function, right? Is that what you're saying essentially? And they can use this however they want, and they're using this for whatever, whether it's a tshuva thing, guilt thing, whatever that we have to figure out. Yeah, Yosef.
So building off thing is a nidui that's a binding non-halacha, not even as derban, it's just a binding non-halacha. So the dream continues that nidui exists, and then once like you can't do anything halachic. But I can't say that nidui exists, and once it exists, you have to deal with it.
So yesterday, when you tried to characterize it as non-halacha, I said I don't accept that, and I'll blame it on the fact that you were up all night. But today, when you say it, I'm going to say the Aruch would disagree. Okay, because the Aruch says it's not a kula derabanan. It is kiddivrei Torah. Sounds halachic to me, man. Yeah.
Is there anything else like that?
We were trying to. Did we ask that yesterday? Is there anything else like this?
Yeah.
You said chavurah brios.
Yeah.
Right. Chavurah brios is something. So chavurah brios literally means like human dignity. You know.
Oh, okay.
So chavurah brios is a real concept, and it has halachic weight, but it's not defined halachically. Like in terms of, there's no like halachos of kavod habrios that like are all mapped out and given at Sinai, you know. It's but it does interplay into halacha. That's like
Kavod habrios not only to humans, it's also just like animals.
I've never heard it expressed about animals, even though it sounds like it from the phrase.
No, like when you can't, if you know an animal's dying, you have to kill it. No?
Is that kavod habrios or is that?
That's more. No.
Okay, yeah, it's possible.
I don't know.
I've never heard that that's kavod habrios.
I'm asking.
Oh yeah.
It's not.
I've never heard it.
It's
Yeah.
not for its honor. It's for its like it's a mercy.
Some, like maybe tsar l'balachayim maybe.
So Kavod habrios is only for.
Yeah, human dignity. I know they say brios, which sounds like all creations, but yeah, not animals or mushrooms. Yeah.
Just the Arach thing that the nidui doesn't actually take effect, but you just need to release it.
Yeah.
Seems very weird.
Very weird. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. But Chaim is leaving a possibility for that though.
I think what Chaim's saying works even if the nidui does actually take effect.
Definitely they could do that, right? Yeah, and look, the shach does say that the nidui does take effect, so it's not like Aruch HaShulchan's the only opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let me show you a couple of approaches that I saw in the Mefarshim here. Okay, and I know this is going a little bit outside of Rambam, but you know, this is Rambam Bekius, so I don't know. Okay. All right. So the first one I saw is the Ran in Nidrim. Oh, we didn't do the Gemara. The Gemara has an even stranger thing, okay? And I don't know how to reconcile the Gemara and the Rambam. The Gemara says like this. I just lost it.
Is it a story of the dream?
No, that'd be good though. Hold on. Okay. Amar Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef said, Niduhu b'chalom. If they put him in nidui in a dream, Asar b'nei Adam lohatir lo, they need 10 people to release him. V'hu ditanu hilchasa, and this is provided that they learn halacha. V'al masnu, but if they learn mishnah, v'lotanu, and they don't learn halacha, lo. V'ileka ditanu hilchasa, afilu masnu v'lotanu. And if you don't find anyone who learns halacha, then even people who learn mishnah. Okay, so that's so far the same as the Rambam. Okay, but then it says, V'ileka, and if you don't find people, lezel v'lesev aparashas drachim. You can go and sit on the like crossroads. Okay, I guess like between villages. V'yahif shlama asar b'nei adam, and greet 10 people. Ad demiklai le asara degami hilchasa, until you've gathered 10 people who learn halacha. So weird. Okay, I don't even know what that means. I don't know how the Rambam brings it down. Yeah. Okay, so we will get to an explanation of that, but first of all, here's the first theory about why we care about this. So the Ran says, "Niduhu b'chalom tzarich asar b'nei adam latir lo." Lefisha efshar. Why do we care about this? Because it's possible shebeshlichus hamakom nisnada, that you were sent this nidui by God. Okay, lefikach tzarich asar lahatiro, and therefore you need 10 to be matir. Why? Wait for it. Sheshchina imahim, because the Shechina is with them. Okay, and 10 is a number for Shechina. Okay, so that's the Ran. The Rush says something similar, I think. Yeah, right. The Rush says.
That's why we have a minion, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. What do we do about the fact that the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos says, how do you know the Shechina is even with 5? This pasuk. How do you know it's even with 3, even with 2, even with 1? But I guess this is like a level 10 Shechina, right, or a 10 level Shechina. Yeah. So that was there a hand up? No. Okay. So that was the Ran. Okay. Tosfos says like this.
How do you describe the Shechina? I could ask.
Well, okay. Well, that's what we have to figure out. Okay. I want to show you 2 more people, and then we'll figure it out. So Tosfos says, "Sarich asar b'nei adam lahatiro lo." You need 10 people to be matir him. Lefi shechalom havi in nevuah. Since a dream is like nevuah, okay, yesh lo lidog min hapuranos, you should be worried about punishment. This is the closest to what you were saying. In other words, that, I mean, except for the nevuah part, he's saying that the fact that you got this dream indicates that you did some avera that you need to do tshuva on. Okay. Therefore, you need to be released by 10. And then you're mutter in that basing that put you in nidui. So it sounds like he is taking it as I don't know what he means, the basing that's put you in nidui, but it sounds like he's saying you treat it as actual nidui, right? Not just like you need to find the release like the Arוך HaShulchan. Because the Shechina rests with every group of 10 people. So in other words, this is also how he's getting out of the question of, do you need to go to the person who put you in nidui? And he's saying, no, Shechina is with any group of 10, so that's going to be good enough no matter what. Yeah.
So is this saying that basing put you in nidui based off a dream?
Oh, that's an interesting possibility. Yeah.
Based off a dream?
Yeah, what Yosef is saying is like this, is we were assuming that the nidui comes into effect when you have the dream. Yosef is pointing out the fact that it says, and then it is mutter for you in the basing that put you in the nidui. So you're suggesting perhaps if I get a dream that I have nidui, I have to like go to basing and then they put me in nidui, and then I need 10 to release me. Yeah.
Or even in the or even like a member of the basing gets the dream and gathers other people to base them.
Say again?
Or even a member of the basing will get the dream and gathers the other members of the basing.
Yeah, I'm more reluctant to say that though. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought that would mean like.
Say again? If he said the word Shema, that's what I thought also. If he said Shema, based in Shamala, also based in Shiniduhu. Yeah, okay, you're right. I think that's a shot. Let's cheat. Yeah, let's cheat and use the cheaty Tosfos.
Why is this a cheaty Tosfos?
Well, because it explains all the Tosfos for you and has all the footnotes. Yeah. In excruciating detail. In Hebrew, yeah. Yeah. It's not that cheaty.
I know it.
It is very cheaty. Okay. So let's see what he says.
We can't even cheat.
It needs to be on a certain level to cheat. Yeah. Let's see. The cheaty guy says it's been Shemaim. Yeah. All right. I'm fine with that. Let me see if there's a footnote who says anything more interesting.
Wait, so it's based in Shamala?
Based in Shamala. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is that?
The heavenly tribunal, the court on high. They put in based in, yeah.
Which really, so are we interpreting that to be you in your dream still?
I think it sounds like the way he said it is you're getting a message, I guess, from the based in your dream. And
the message.
The dream is the message, yeah, right. But yeah, I don't know what Tosfos Shita on basing Shamala is, though. So that's kind of part of the problem here.
It's not like in the dream you get a message.
The dream is the message, right. Meaning you could have a dream that where the Bugs Bunny puts you in nidui, but that's really coming from basing Shamala, yeah. Okay, so yeah. Oh, by the way, the homework assignment from last night is still in effect.
Which was what?
Which was a dream that you get put in nidui, so then we can ask a shaila from Rebbe, and it'll force him to paskin on this issue, and we'll see how he actually paskins. But I don't think he's
still possible.
It is, yeah, and that's the thing is like the more we talk about it,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, is that like I feel like even if you asked him about this in abstract, it'd be very easy to just not put in stuff. But we got to corner him halachically, and yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know. We got to believe. Yeah. Okay. Last one, and then we'll try to figure it out on our own. So the Meiri is the one who talks about it the most. Okay. And he walks us through the procedure. So here's what he says.
Wait, is there such a thing as an artificial dream if it's induced? Like, is that?
You mean halachically, like would that count? It sounds like not, and I'll see that from the Meiri. Okay, so I think okay, yeah.
Like it's like you fabricated.
Right. Meaning, let's say we believe that dreams are nevuah. So even Chazal say, what's the famous Chazal about like the about nonsense material in dreams? Nonsense material in dreams. about the where is it? What's the parsha of Yosef? Yeah. What's the first parsha where he has a dream? I always forget that. No, that's the dream about the Mitzrayim. So it must be before Miketz. I always click on parshas.
Parsha that he says, "I need Yosef."
No, that's Vayeshev. Yeah, Vayeshev, I think.
When it's like the 12 stars.
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
wheat and all that.
Exactly. Let's just see this here. Vayeshev. And yeah, so Yosef says, "V'yomer alehem shimuna hakalam zeh asher chalamti." Actually, it's not on this one; it's on the next one. V'yachalam od chalam acher. So Yosef dreamed another dream. Vaysaper oso le'echav, and he told it to his brothers. V'yomer, and he said, "Hine chalamti chalam. Behold, I have dreamed a dream." Od another one. V'hine hashemesh v'yarech v'achad kochavim mishtachvim li. Behold, the sun and the moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me. Vaysaper el aviv ve'el echav. And he told it to his father and his brothers. Vayigar bo aviv, and his father rebuked him, right, or growled at him. V'yomer lo, and he said to him, "Ma chalam hazeh asher chalamta? What is this dream that you dreamed? Havo navo ani v'imacha v'achacha lishakos la'arta? Am I and your mother and your brothers gonna bow down to you earthward?" So Rashi says, what was the point that prompted this response? He says, "Halo navo v'halo imacha kvar mesa." Didn't your mother already die? Right? That wasn't so he didn't know, Yosef didn't know, Yaakov didn't know that this was referring to Bilhah who raised him. But then Rabbeinu lamdu mikan, the Chazal learned from him, she'ein chalam below dvarim b'teilim, that there's no such thing as a dream without like nonsense matters. Okay, so the question is, let's say you take Tosfos' premise that dream has some nevuah in it, and therefore we worry about the fact that this nidui is a real thing. So Chizkiah's question is like, if we artificially induce a dream by like playing a recording of nidui, you know, like, and we produce a nidui dream, would Tosfos still say that like you apply this halacha or not?
Well,
you know,
it's still nevuah. Like you could have just. God could have just maybe not dream that dream. Right.
So I think this is going to be reinforced with the Meiri, but it sounds like he's going to say, it's even possible that thing that you got was not nevuah, but we are machmir to treat it as nevuah, to require like hataras nevuah. Yeah, right. Okay, so let's see here. Meiri says, "Mishnidahu b'chalam," someone who was put in nidui in a dream. Tzarich asar b'nei adam lahatiro, needs 10 people to release him. But tzarich shehu kulam talmidei chachamim. So this is interesting. He starts to answer some of our questions. All of them need to be talmidei chachamim hamashpiim mechachmasim. This should probably maybe malamdim la'acherim. They need to be chachamim who shower. What's the word? Mashpia. Shower forth with their chachma and teach others. Okay, so he learns it literally means people who teach halacha. Okay, not just can learn it. V'him shuhu koram masnu hilchos. That's what it means by they teach halacha. V'im eno motze me'elu, and if you don't find people like this, sarach shihu miha talmidim hashonim la'atzman. Then you need people talmidim who teach themselves halacha. V'him hanikraim tanu hilchos. That's what it means that they learn halacha. V'im eno motze af me'elu, and if you don't find even these, holich lo tamid b'parshas hadrachim, then you should keep on going to the crossroads. Shebkias rabim shel ayaros acheros ovrim l'sham, because people from different cities like go through there. Umitzach iafshar lekabtam, and since you can't gather them, in sarich lahodiam. Okay, this is an interesting thing. You don't need to inform them about the whole nidui. Ella yehe nosin shalom. You just need to greet them. V'him meshivim, and they respond. Uma shehim meshivim lo shalom hu haheter kishiyase b'asar tamidim. Them just responding to your greeting it counts as the release of the nidui. So you see how like lenient he's treating it, you know? Yeah. So just to repeat here, right? So you don't even need to gather them all there and have them say like mutar lach. You just say shalom alacha, and they say like they say alacha shalom, and you go like 1, you know, and then you got to get another 2, and then once you get 10, then you're released. Yeah.
This really does sound like a faithful thing about like taking your psyche to account. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're saying, look, we know that like, this isn't really a real thing, probably, but
right,
for your own peace of mind, go through these things so you can feel like.
Right. So similar to that, so on the discussion chat yesterday, then Yosef Levine asked if this has anything to do with a tainis chalom, right? Which is the only other case I know of a tainis chalom. Does the Rambam bring down Tanis Chalom?
No,
He does, okay. Yeah. Oh, Hilchos Tinius. Okay, not yeah. I don't know why I would think otherwise. That would be Hilchos Brachos. Yeah. Yeah. So let's just read this really quickly because this would be relevant. Which parak would it be in? Chalom. Let's see. No Chalom. Oh, you know it's in the first one, I think. Yeah, it's in the first one. Haroeh Chalom Ra. This is in Tinus 112. Someone who sees a bad dream. Okay, he needs to fast the next day, Kadesh Yashuv, so that he does tshuva, v'yeor l'masav, and he will be awakened regarding his actions. Let's look at our new toy here. Okay, nothing. I mean, nothing substantive. Limasav, not bimasav. Okay. V'chapes behen, he will analyze his actions. V'yachzer b'tshuva, and he'll do tshuva. Umisana v'afilu b'Shabbos, he should fast even on Shabbos, which is ordinarily aser. Umispalel aninu b'chol tefillah, and he should daven aninu in every tefillah. Afa pishlo kibla alav mibod yom, even though he didn't accept it upon himself for the full day. V'misana b'Shabbos, misana yom achar. I didn't know that. If you fast on Shabbos, you have to fast another day because you negated Oneg Shabbos. Yeah, that's interesting. So this is Tinus Chalom. So we see that Tinus, if you have a bad dream, which by the way, there is a case of this that I've heard someone ask Rebbe in Yeshiva. Levi Nutik in 2003 had a dream, a bad nightmare, and he asked Rebbe a shaila. I don't know if Rebbe's changed his psak, if this was just then. And I think one of the questions that he was asked, that Rebbe asked him is like, how bad of a dream was it?
Right.
And he said like, it was a terrifying dream, you know? So, and I think that was the halacha that like, you do a Tinus Chalom for a terrifying dream, not just like
so bad. What does it mean by bad? I feel like it's referring to here for some reason.
I don't know. I don't think bad is in like morally bad. I don't know though. I haven't gone into the sugya, but this was like a terrifying dream. And so this is the only other case I know of where like the dream has an impact, like has a halachic manifestation, even that allows you to fast on Shabbos. And then there's the whole thing which the Rambam I don't think mentions, but the whole thing in the back of the Sidurim, the Hatavas Chalom, the whole ceremony of like, you have people interpret your dream for good. You ever heard of this thing?
Yeah.
Like you tell your dream to them, like in front of 3 people, and like they interpret it for the good, and like there's a whole like ritual, you know.
My healer like worded that was actually in that show.
Yeah.
My rabbi would talk about that a lot.
Oh yeah.
Come to him with dreams all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So you remind me of that because that's like similar to what Rabbi Fader was saying, that like, look, the psyche is a reality. It doesn't mean that the contents of it are true, but it means that it is produced by something real and it affects you in a real way. So to have certain things that you do to like acknowledge the psyche, to deal with it in a way that is productive, let's say like in this tshuva way, you use it as an opportunity for tshuva. Or it's funny with the nidui thing, he does not explicitly say the tshuva thing, but presumably like there's an element of tshuva also. That's making good use of like the products of the psyche, you know? So it does sound like that. Okay, back to the Meiri. Hold on. Where were we reading? Oh yeah. So you can get greeted by 10 people and that releases you. Oh yeah, check this out even more. V'yasmi b'davar, you keep on doing this. You don't even have to count. You just keep doing this until you feel like 10 people have passed. Okay, until you feel. Okay. Sorry. I didn't mean you don't count. I mean shekvar avru sham asar talmidim, until you feel that there are 10 talmidim who came by. Okay, because you don't know who these people are. You know.
Oh, so they feel like you got a sense that each one of those is probably talmidim.
Or like, I feel like
this guy's a Talmud.
No, I think he means like, let's say like you sit there and you greet 50 people. You're like, okay, fine. I probably hit like 10 Talmudim, you know, at a certain point, right? Okay. Yeah, it is. Well, you're just saying hello. You're not telling them about the nidui.
But they don't know.
No, you just greet them. Yeah, you just say shalom aleichem. Yeah. Yeah. So he's what he's saying. He's saying then just responding to your greeting is the being matir. So it's like so loose in the structure here. Yeah.
What if like you live in an area like where it's city folk, you know, and they don't really say, they don't wave back and do that.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Like,
It's a good
point.
my nidui is real, you know.
Right. So I think that at the end of the day, you're going to be fine if with the last ditch effort, which is 3 regular people. Let's just see how he interprets that. Okay, he takes a little deviation here. So some people say that because of the stringency of the nidui, then you can just have one expert guy be matir, and you don't need 10. There are people who try to explain this in many ways. That's what we're doing right now. Okay, that are nothing. Okay, so you say people give like all these like nonsense explanations. The ikar davarim, the main thing is like what we said, losov davar, and not only that, bedin zeh kishlo yada minidahu o yada sheyada ve'ino b'chaim shiachol lelech lefanav latiro. Either if you don't know who put you in nidui in the dream, or the guy's no longer alive. Or even if you know who put you in nidui in the dream, and he is alive, so he's saying that the guy, I don't know exactly that lashon, but he's saying that even if you go to the guy who you dreamed about, who put you in nidui, he can't be matir you. Even if the nidui and the release is in a dream. In the same dream, the guy puts you in nidui and releases you, or in another dream, right? You have a dream one night, you get put in nidui, then another night you get released. It doesn't matter. And because this is an interesting thing, it's impossible to have a dream without dvarim b'teilim. Maybe the release is one of the dvarim b'teilim.
You can't choose. You can't look at the matir. You can only you can't see the matir.
Yeah, you have to be machmir for the putting you in nidui, but you have but and I guess machmir to not release yourself. Yeah, right. One more meiri also on the. Yeah, because he says
you can't go to.
Yeah, you can't go to him in real life. He says it's not worth anything. He says that guy's hatara is not anything. Lishmute shavie shliach lishriya lo shaviu shliach. To I don't know where this lashon is from. It's from somewhere. To put you in nidui, he is a shliach, but to release you from nidui, he's not a shliach. In other words, like the guy in the dream could put you in shliach, but he can't release you from it. There you need 10. I don't know why. No, he doesn't explain 10, so that's what we have to explain. But I think he helps us a lot. And then just one more quick meiri. So this is on the Gemara in Sanhedrin about the finding the Meiser Sheni in the dream. So he just adds here, Shepulas hamadame, the activity of the imaginative faculty, afal pi shetzudekas b'miktas, even though it sometimes is right, harbip solas mis arvima. There's a lot of waste mixed in the in choshishin lo achias bar, and we don't worry about the waste to clarify what is real and what's not, except in nidui. Okay, so now let's take stock of what we have. So we see from reading all these things, some people. So you have the Ran who says that this is God, might be God sending you a message. Tosfos who says this might be nevuah and the Beis Din Shamala. The Meiri who doesn't really comment on the origin of it, but you see from the Meiri, it's extremely loose in the standards for releasing you from nidui, and the Meiri himself acknowledges that the imaginative faculty can be wrong, and we're just machmir here for some reason. And so our question is, again, what is the deal with the 10? What's the deal with the Shekhinah? Right? How do we explain all this? Yeah, Yosef.
He doesn't seem to indicate there's like a real quartet because he contrasts the heter as a possible Devar Batal versus the nidui. Doesn't say sure this could be Devar Batal, but also could not be.
Right.
There's a real thing.
Right. So we see him having evidence that we treat the heter as having a real requirements. He does not though explicitly take a stance on whether you have to be noheg nidui and other people have to be noheg nidui with you though. Right, like that machlokes between the shach and the Aruch HaShulchan, he doesn't really take a stance on. And the funny thing, the fact that none of the Rishonim talk about that is interesting itself. You know, that there is a nidui. That's what I would assume also. If I just read the Rambam doesn't indicate that there's anything different about this nidui than any other nidui. Sounds like it's real.
I mean, it's like,
Right. Yeah. Okay. So what can we explain here? Yeah, me too. So let me just, because we talked about the Shekhinah earlier this year, let me just give you a working definition of Shekhinah, right? So the Rambam in the Moreh Nevuchim, we're not going to read through it inside because we did that earlier in the year. The Rambam in the Moreh Nevuchim says that Shekhinah could be two things. Okay, he says Shekhinah can be a name for the Hashgacha, right? Literally means like the dwelling, right, or the presence of God, right? But so he's saying, so first he says it's definitely not God himself, because God cannot be in a place, because place is a physical quality. He says it's a used to reference the Hashgacha, and then he says if you want to believe that it's talking about a created miraculous light that God makes, then you can believe that.
Created light?
Yeah, like God makes let's say in the Kodesh HaKodashim, like he, let's say like the pillar of fire, like that led Bnei Israel, that was a miraculous like fire. So if you want to believe that there's a created light in the Mikdash, then and that's called Shekhinah, then you could believe that.
That's also Hashgacha.
It's also Hashgacha, yeah. And I have a theory, again, this is my theory, that the way that the tone the Rambam uses, like if you want to believe that, then go ahead. Like there's no harm in that. Right. I don't think he thinks that that's really the Shekhinah. I think, but he's saying that it's okay to believe that, because as long as you're not associating that with God, you're saying it's God's Hashgacha.
It's like a valid interpretation.
It's valid, and you're not going to be harmed by believing that.
But what does he think it is?
I think he thinks it's Hashgacha.
How is it different though?
No, Hashgacha in general. In general, yeah. And my take on it is that when we say Hashgacha, I mean, I think people don't realize how broad we mean Hashgacha by. And you have all these statements in the Mishnah Torah of like, I'll give you one that like is most related to we saw even that with the Kavod Harav, that if you, with your Rav Muvhak, like this is not with all Chachamim, but with your Rav Muvhak in Talmud Torah, what chapter? 5:1, right? That he says, if you split off from your Rav and like make your own base midrash, it's like you're splitting off with the Shekhinah. If you fight with your Rav, it's like you're fighting with the Shekhinah. If you complain about your Rav, it's like you're complaining about the Shekhinah. If you are critically suspicious about your Rav, then it's like you're being critically suspicious about the Shekhinah. Then the Rambam has, let's say in Sanhedrin, there's a bunch of these. I'm just going to quote this one more here. I think he says it here. Yeah. In Sanhedrin Gimel Zayin, Kol Beis Din Shel Yisrael Shehu Hagon, any Beis Din of Israel that is proper, Shekhinah imahem, then the Shekhinah is with them. Therefore, the judges need to sit with awe and fear. Atifa, and they need to have their heads wrapped with kobid rosh, and they need to be solemn. You cannot be like silly or like joking around or speaking like regular conversation in Beis Din. You could only have Torah and Chachma. Similarly, he says the Sanhedrin of 70, the Shekhinah was with them. Kol dayan shedan din emes. This is 23:9. Kol dayan she'eno dan din emes blamito. If you're a judge and you don't judge a true statement, yeah.
Wait, what's the say for instance?
These halachos of Sanhedrin. Any judge who does not judge a law properly, gorem l'shechina shetisal Israel. He causes the Shekhinah to leave the Jews. And then kol dayan shedan din emes lamito afilu sha'achas kilu tiken es kol ha'olam kulo v'gorm l'shechina shetishra b'Israel. If you're a judge and you judge something truly, even for a moment, I don't know what that means, you're fixing the world and you're causing the Shekhinah to dwell with Israel. So the Rambam uses the word Shekhinah very, very loosely also. Same thing like a person who's sick, the Shekhinah is above their head, So my working theory of Shekhinah is,
No, finish it.
My working theory of Shekhinah is that it's anything that makes the Hashgacha real to you. In other words, Shekhinah, if God does an open miracle, that's Shekhinah. Torah in action, being implemented to regulate society, that's Shekhinah. Your Rebbe who embodies Chachmas Torah, that's Shekhinah. A human being who's sick on his, in bed, Shekhinah is above his head because it brings to the idea the notion of mortality and like your existence is finite and God's existence is eternal. my working definition is anything that is like the manifestation of the reality of God's hashgacha can be called Shechina, you know? So that's like a working definition. Yeah, what are you gonna?
So not contradicting that, definition, but I guess including the definition. I think I gave you before. You see this, I think maybe you said the Meiri or someone else kind of uses this, which I don't know if it's going to be playing into just as the Rambam. That because it's a feminine word, it's like kind of referring more to like the dwelling place almost in a certain sense of the shulchan, which would be more Hashem, and that it's really referring to like, I guess, the unification of the Jewish people. That like when they're all like united as a one assembly or whatever, that entity or that phenomenon is called Shechina. And so when they say like the judge is fixing something, he's fixing some societal break. Yeah. So he's mending that break in the Shechina, meaning in the people.
Right. I remember you telling me about that, and I remember quoting a passage that supports it, which is it doesn't say in so you know what's the mitzvah that pertains to Shechina is building the base of Mikdash. You would expect it to say Va'asu li Mikdash v'shechanti b'socho. Build me a mikdash and I will dwell in it. But it doesn't say that. It says Va'asu li Mikdash v'shechanti b'socham.
Right.
Build me a mikdash and I will dwell among you.
Right.
Which means that the Shechina, the phenomenon of the Shechina is like with the Jewish people.
Right.
You know. Right. Yeah. Okay. So can we explain like this whole nidui thing now in light of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I was going to say.
Oh yeah.
So in that, like if what Shechina is something that has to do with a cohesive building, whatever, in that metaphor that you want, that's made through us all being well, in cohesion with each other, then you having had a dream or anything, I don't know if we're only talking about the dream, but that's, I think, a good example where you feel some sort of inner cycle, feel some break that needs to be addressed, that needs to be fixed. Yeah. And so you go to what is like the macrocosm or like the kind of representation of what Shechina is, which is a minion, 10,
right? Yeah.
And that's like the first unit of what you have as a system of people, and so that's why you're appealing to that and not just one person, or two people. Okay, so let's just I'm just gonna I think it's a good approach, but I think just to support it, like you see from the fact that you need these you need to prioritize this hierarchy of chachma, that really what we care about is what is going to make the reality of God's hashgacha like most real to you. So the greater the chachma there is, like it's not, with the regular minyan, it's just 10 people, and we don't, minyanim don't register who makes it up, right? It's like any 10 Jews, it's there. Here it sounds like we want you to actually like have a community, like a tzibur that like embodies actual like chachma, you know? So you strive for the highest level of chachma, and then the second, you know. So I'm not contradicting what you're saying, but I think that's and I agree with the approach that somehow like this disturbance that you felt is remedied by acknowledging like that like, in other words, when you get put in nidui means you're cut off from the community, right? So something is making you feel like you're not part of the community. And so you need to repair that by like not integrating yourself, because you're not actually kicked out of the community, but mending the communal like fracture by like encountering a community that represents Shechina, something like that. Yeah. So to add to your chachma aspect, I like the extra, but it's probably why you have to specifically aim to have talmidim that you're going to, because you're appealing to the authority that they come with, right? So that's how society runs, and the judge, everything else. Yeah, like, it's not just any random people. Like we're all unified because we're all going after the same system, and what that system gives us credit from. Right, and it's interesting, by the way, with the greeting thing. Yeah. That just the way that מאירי explained it. What's the goal? So he preserves the idea of chachma there. He says you just need to say hello to a bunch of people till you feel like there are chachamim who you said hello to, you know? It's like a very, like, the thing is that you gotta like make contact with a tzibur of chachamim in some sense in order to like get that shechina feeling, you know? Like, yeah. Still a very, look, I'm not excusing the strangeness of the institution. Still very strange. Yeah.
That I know
yeah.
When someone does the wrong path, I'm like, Oh, I no, I like one allowing one.
I know. I think we need what you said in order to explain it, which is that this is the Chachamim like set this up to like, you know, as like a fix. It's not like an intrinsic.
I feel like initial words. So like you know the hard different problem with it. I like I even sit on the road and like
No. That's not what he's saying you should do. He's saying you should just greet a bunch of people, you know, and then like you'll feel at some point that you've gotten 10.
Right.
Yeah, I have to go, by the way, because I have to tutor, but let me just sketch out a plan. I think so we have, I think 6 more sessions of Rambam Bekius before Shavuos. So here's what I'm thinking. Okay, we have like a handful of halachos left. Let's do tomorrow the Rambam and more Nevuchim about dreams, because that might give us more insight into what the Rambam means here. Because everything we said today is not the Rambam, right? You know, so we'll see that.
Oh, right. This
is the Meiri and the Ron and the Tosfos, you know. Not that the Ron would necessarily disagree. So let's do Rambam dreams and the more Nevuchim tomorrow. Thursday, we will go on, and then we'll try to wrap this up by Shavuos, like finish Talmud Torah by Shavuos. And if we don't, then whatever. Then I guess we could do it afterwards. But it'd be nice if we do, though. Then maybe we'll do. We never ended up doing the Shtei Alachem stuff. We just did the Havas Omer, so we do the Shtei Alachem maybe. Okay. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll have to get put in.